this video, I want to show you how I transformed this secretary desk that nobody wanted into something I wanted for my home, and I'm going to show you all the details. It's been almost a year since I posted a YouTube video, and I'm really looking forward to sharing a lot more inspiration in the upcoming 2025 year. I'll share more detail about where I've been and what's to come in upcoming videos, but for this video I want to share exactly what I've done with this old secretary desk. All the products and what I'm going to be using will be in the description box below, but my favorite is glaze. I love using clear glaze and furniture paint to recreate a whole new style and look. This old desk has been worn down pretty good, and it is made out with a veneer finish on it. So first thing I'm going to do is remove all the hardware, and I'm going to clean it really well with just some good detergent soap. One of my favorite things to do when I want to recycle old furniture pieces is to create a textured look. It's not textured to the touch, it's textured by the visual. With some good quality furniture paint as well as the clear glaze, which I'm going to show you how I use, you can create some pretty amazing looks. The basic and steps in which I'm going to take for this project is 3 different tones. I'm going to have a medium tone, a light tone, and a dark tone. And again, all the colors in which I've used are in the description box below. The furniture paint that I'm using is an excellent quality, beautiful, matte, gorgeous finish, and the price is just fantastic. The Creme Brûlée color that I'm using is the medium tone I'm going to use as my base color. The main reason I want to use the 3 different tones is because what it's going to do is it's going to give this abstract look of dimension. When I apply my base coat, I want to use lots of small little hatch brush strokes, so lots of crossing over, and again, this is what's going to also help with the next few steps. Because I'm using such a light color on a very dark surface, it's really important to do small sections, lots of overlapping for this technique I'm about to show you, including you're going to need 2 full coats. The inside of the secretary desk is actually in really good condition, so I think I'm going to actually leave the inside just as is. But I will add some new hardware, and these will also be in the description box. For the lid of the desk, I'm just going to use an artist brush so I can have a nice clean line. It's really important when you're going to put a couple of coats down is to make sure that each coat is completely dry. I have to admit, it does feel really good to be back on YouTube. So to use clear glaze is kind of like an artist medium. And the beauty about it is it creates beautiful textures. So again, I'm going to show you in detail what I'm about to do. These are fantastic chip brushes because they're not disposable. You can actually keep reusing them. So I have a 1-inch and a 2-inch that I'm going to be using. I really like using the shop towels because they don't produce the lint like regular paper towel. So the ratio of what I use with my clear glaze is 2 parts clear glaze, 1 part paint. The main principle of the clear glaze is to dilute the paint so it becomes a little bit more transparent. It doesn't actually take away the pigment of the paint. What it does is it just makes it more translucent, and this will help with the effect of what we're going to do next. I'm now using a white color as well as a nice rich espresso brown color. By mixing it with the glaze, this is going to create that transparency, which I'm going to show. Now that my second coat is fully dry, I let it sit overnight, and now I'm going to start with the glazing technique. I always find it easiest to work in very small sections. Using the chip brushes, I'm going to do the same brush technique as I did with the base coat and a lot of cross hatching. So you're just going to dip into your glaze and paint mix, and you're going to go around and just be as random as possible. I like the shop towels to be a little bit moist with water. This way it doesn't absorb the paint and glaze mix. What it does is it just creates the texture with the shop towel. So the more random you can be, the better. So what the paint and glaze mix is actually doing is it's creating a very faux texture look, but it's very mild. So what I really enjoy about this journey is I can keep adding more and more layers as I go. This is very similar to a paint wash, but with the glaze and paint, it has a little bit more viscosity to it. So this way you have a little bit more play time, and it also shows up a little bit more sharply than just a regular paint and water mix as a paint wash. So what I find it creates is a little bit more dimension to exactly what you're trying to do, is create lots and lots of texture. But this type of texture will look like texture, but to the touch, it won't feel like texture. So what I meant by random is I want to create highlights and lowlights all around the furniture. And again, I'm working in small sections. So there's a couple of ways you can apply your glaze. You can apply it directly to the painted surface and move the shop towel around, or you can, in addition, you can put the glaze onto the shop towel and then again move that shop towel around. The more you change the shape of the shop towel, the more random texture you're going to create. My initiation to what I want to create is kind of an old world finish, which I love doing to old worn down furniture pieces, and it kind of gives a little bit of an historic look, but nothing too bold or too dramatic. A lot of people will paint furniture and use dark furniture waxes. I much prefer to use a glaze and paint mix because I feel like I can control the density of how dark and light I want the shading to work around the entire piece. And the really beautiful part about working with the glaze and paint mix is any areas that are too light or too dark, you can always go back once it's dry and go over it again. So this gives you full control of where you want your highlights and your lowlights. The other beautiful part about working with glaze and paint is you can actually kind of dab in the light and the dark together and kind of basically blend it in just by tapping it. The other big benefit of using the glaze and paint mix versus water and paint is you definitely have more working time. Just plain water and paint as a paint wash to do this kind of effect just dries a lot quicker. With the glaze, you definitely have a good 10-15 minutes of working time, which I find much more beneficial as you kind of want to go around in the small sections, stand back and either add or take away your highlight or your lowlights. So right now it's just a play time. So you're just putting down the effects and then you can go around and then add more highlights and lowlights as you keep going. So areas where I'm starting to see the texture I want, I can keep playing. The other beautiful part with the glaze and paint mix is where I'm putting on a very, very light glaze and paint mix, and then I add in a dark. The two will also make some more highlights and lowlights as they blend together. The particular color tones in which I chose for this project and the effects that I'm doing almost kind of gives it a little bit of a lime wash effect if you're familiar with how a lime wash works. A lime wash effect is very similar to what people would do with a wall, is they will start with a neutral medium tone on the wall. They will use a highlight and a low light from the same pigmentation and do a lot of cross hatching onto the wall, and it gives a really beautiful textured effect with just highlights and lowlights. Nothing too dramatic, but it just gives more movement. And it also creates a lot more visual interest. So it's not that the tones are that far off of each other. It's just something you're looking at has more movement to it. And I find that I have a lot more control with this type of method versus using the dark or light waxes. This is also a beautiful way to blend furniture colors. So if you're going to want to use other types of primary colors, this is a beautiful way to blend the colors together because you've created your highlight and your low light to have more transparency. Glaze does not act as a top coat for your painted furniture projects. I still recommend that you use a soft clear wax or a polyurethane top coat once everything is completely dry. Again, the depth that you can get with using a glaze in your furniture paint is absolutely beautiful. So what I'm doing with I'm just going to use the brown tone of this Espresso, and I'm just going to kind of give it an old weathered look just with the brown. I'm not going to use any of the white onto the bottom of the legs. But with the top and the base of the actual desk, I'm going to use a lot of the white as well as the brown, and that also too is creating variants of different shades in between. This can be a lot of fun. It's really, there's no right and wrong with it. It's just constantly playing with the different levels of shading and texture. And again, the more you move that shop towel around, the more texture you're going to create. I'm really impressed with the quality of this paint. It feels really durable. It's easy to work with. It's got beautiful coverage. The pigments of this paint are really, really strong, which is fantastic, especially when you want to play around and do a lot of different effects. The ultra matte finish is pretty much my favorite when it comes to paint and types of paint. So you got that kind of chalk paint, thick and rich look, but it doesn't pick up the shine once it's completely dry. Once I've gone around all the surfaces of the desk and I've gotten some of those highlights and lowlights, I will go back once that's dry and just add in areas that I felt were a little too light or a little bit too dark. So again, you can just keep playing around with it until you're completely happy. So right now it's just in the drying phase, and then I will go back and I will just add a few more highlights and lowlights so it blends in a little bit better. The other thing that's really important to remember with this type of method is it is going to come across kind of moist and very rich, but once it's completely dry, it will change and be a little bit more translucent. Very similar to when you open a paint can and it's very rich in pigment and color, and then when you place it on a wall, it sometimes comes across a little bit lighter than what you saw in the can. But adding the glaze with your paint is again going to create a lot more transparency. So what looks really strong and kind of looks mushy and kind of muddy right now will change, and it will change to a lighter pigment. And then this way, all of this texture that I'm creating that looks kind of muddy will actually soften. And whatever you don't like, once it's completely dry, the other alternative you always have to going around and correcting is just go back to the base color. So once everything's completely dry, even knowing you've got a glaze and paint mix on it, you can just put the base color on top into an area that you weren't happy with, let that dry, and go back and repeat. This is a very forgiving method to create a beautiful old world finish without feeling like you have to do something very specific. This is a very random technique with a beautiful outcome. With all the random textures that you're creating, and the transparency once it's dry creates a beautiful effect. The most important part is to have fun with it. Trust the process. And whatever you want to change, you can totally change and correct. I'm going to add in a little bit of fly specking here. So just some random little paint dots just to add a little old character. And I'm going to use a charcoal black gilding wax by Redesign with Creme. And again, all the products that I've used for this project will be in the description box below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because we have tons more DIY projects to share with you soon. Being creative is sending positivity into the world, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you soon. Until then, take care.